Great to be here for the 2K week. Here's Doc, but also classic cars. They'll be a part of the program based on the floor.
All right, driver's gonna speed it up. Green, green, green.
All right, group number one of our pure stocks, dialing the track in. All right, Pure Stocks wrapping their warm-up session up. There are more here, as we mentioned. There are 14 drivers. Some choose not to come out for their warm-up session, but...
All right, driver's going to speed it up. Green, green, green. Track is a little greasy, so be easy.
All right, group number 1 of late model Sportsman is wrapping up. Justin Weaver tops on the board. All right, track continuing to improve, obviously. Ron Powell as
Green,
group
green,
number
green,
one
guys,
of our
guys,
Crown
speed it up.
Vic stake the green flag. All right, check her down in group number one of our Crown Vic drivers. All right, the final group of warm-up drivers in our Crown Vic division feature. Prior to us getting them underway for the green flag, it's time for the opening ceremonies. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could please rise as you are able, as tonight we'll deliver our invocation to be followed by our national anthem. Now, as we mentioned earlier tonight in our program, we had a 50-50 raffle that is held over. It's carried over from back the last time the four-cylinder drivers were here at the Speedway. That was in the helping out a young gentleman who passed away, and we wanted to remember him. But unfortunately, that night we got rained out. The 50-50 has been carried over because we are trying to continue to raise money for his family. The young gentleman we are talking about is Austin Leatherman. Austin passed away at the age of 17. He attended Clear Spring High School. He worked at Clear Spring Country Diner, was a member of the Mogansville, Myersville, and Clear Spring Fire Departments. He was also a junior member of the Clear Spring Fire Department, graduated to probationary status, and he was also studying and taking courses to obtain his Firefighter 1 and EMT status. Austin was also a member of the Civil Patrol. Austin enjoyed spending his evenings at Hagerstown Speedway with the fire department, always willing to help anyone in need. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we offer a moment of silence in the memory of Austin Leatherman. Our dear Heavenly Father, we come to you tonight with heavy hearts for yet another week. Last week we remembered Uncle Jed, and this weekend it's just another person that we've lost too soon in life. And that's young Austin Leatherman, somebody who was willing to help no matter what. He had a very busy schedule, and he was trying to take more courses and help out to be one of those many, many true heroes in our lives. Austin helped many weeks here at the Hagerstown Speedway, and we will forever remember that and be indebted to him at such a young age to be such a helpful young individual. He is now one of your angels up in heaven, and I know he's looking down on us tonight, and he's helping to keep us safe here at Hagerstown Speedway. We remember him and his family this evening, and we certainly hope through this most trying time in their life that they are somehow, some way finding some closure and finding some positives, that knowing that Austin was such a fine, wonderful man, he touched so many lives in so many wonderful ways. Tonight we remember Austin, and we thank you for bringing him to us for those years. We also thank you for all the drivers, our crew members. Keep them safe tonight out on the racetrack as they perform the jobs they do. Keep our race officials safe and help them to make wise decisions as they try to provide the best and fairest racing atmosphere to all of our drivers. Please keep our fans safe, and as they journey back home tonight, keep them safe in their travels so they will have the ability to once again be back with us next week to enjoy the sport we love so much. In your heavenly name we pray. Amen. Jesse Daniels out of Harrisonville, Pennsylvania. And the final driver out there tonight, the 45, Lincoln Sutphin in Round Hill, West Virginia. As our pure stock drivers get set to hit the Jesse James Auto Mart start zone tonight, and we get set for featured activity tonight here at Hagerstown, the first of two 15-lap feature events. The in field back to the line, 4 in the books right now in our 15-lapper. And once Lindenberg wrestled that spot away from Beavers, he has closed the gap a little on Churchy. Still a pretty good gap of about 10 car lengths. And Beavers right now feeling the pressure from Ecton. The 57 turning the wick up a little bit more back and forth. Going to be the 8 of Reed holding on to 5th. That's Keith Reed. And then Blake Reed, his son, the 8B right behind him. 32F of Tyler Fisher, just a couple of car lengths back as well. They're single file, but very tightly bunched together as they work off a turn number 2. And again, the good battle is from 3rd on back. Only challenge right now, tail end of the field, Sutphin to the inside of Jesse Martin, the 45 and 76. Everybody else pretty much behaving right now. But Blake Reed moments ago, a little out of shape off turn 4. That opened the door for Tyler Fisher. Couldn't do anything with it. That brings Nathaniel Yonker just a little bit closer. And that is the battle for the number 6 position. Here goes Fisher to the inside, looking to see him move up one more notch as we come back for lap 7. So the lead slowly shrinking as we get set for halfway in our first of 2 pure stock main events tonight. But Churchy running a very good line in that 72 RC back to the stripe. It will be cross flags for the Martinsburg, West Virginia driver. Randy Lindenberg will be in second. Beavers, he has got a bumper full of William Ecton Jr., the 57 right there. A little love tap going off into turn number 1 and 2. And the 8 of Keith Reed, he is about 5 car lengths back in 5th. Can't quite do anything with those 2 drivers. Yonker, meanwhile, the point leader, trying to move up in the order. He goes to the inside of Fisher. That's outside the top 5, back in 7th. And that is a lone battle right now. Yonker a little out of shape in the low groove, and Fisher maintains that position. Ecton with a good run off the corners, but can't quite close the deal on Beavers. He'll pull off within about a car length as Churchy a little wide. That time off turn number 4. 5 laps to go. And the lead is pretty much gone, down to a couple of car lengths. Lindenberg in the 17L still in the hunt for his first victory of 2025. Good run off at 2. He's right there within a half car length of your leader down the back straightaway. Beavers, Ecton, and Keith Reed, they remain the top 5. Here goes Lindenberg trying, but down bottom just not working right now. And Churchy opens up a 2 car length advantage with 4 to go. Late model Sportsman for your heat race number 1. Late model Sportsman drivers, heat race number 1 to the staging area, please. Late model Sportsman, heat race number 1 to the staging area. 12 laps complete that time by Churchy, a car length advantage over Lindenberg. Still a very tight battle between Beavers, Ecton, and Reed. Lindenberg again to the inside, challenging as the slower car of Jesse Daniels looks like he's going to head off into the pits here at lap number 13 when they come by. Again, late model Sportsman, he raced number 1 to the staging area. Late model Sportsman, he raced number 1 to the staging area. And Lindenberg out of shape off turn 4. You saw it a moment ago, and that may have been what seals the deal for Brandon Churchy. That opens up the lead he had earlier of at least 10 car lengths down the back straightaway. Reed now working on Ecton, close enough to challenge for 4th, but the lead duo well in front as the white flag will be in the air, and Churchy looking to become the 4th different pure stock winner in 2025. Again, late model Sportsman drivers, he raced number 1 to the staging area. Late model Sportsman drivers, he raced number 1 to the staging area, please. Final lap going to be Reed getting around Ecton for 4th, but off of turn 4, we have found our 4th different feature winner in 2025. Brandon Churchy backing up a good top 5 run last week, taking his first at Hagerstown this year in pure stock action. Randy Lindenberg will come home in second. Dylan Beavers, Keith Reed, and William Ecton Jr., they will be your top 5. Well, always good to start the night off on the right foot. New winner in Victory Lane, and he's got a pretty good fan club down here at the pit area. As we mentioned last week in that 15-lap main event. Good. And as he climbs out, fans, give it up for Brandon Churchy, your newest pure stock winner. There it is. There's a smile. I know there's a little bit of concern. Is she getting a little warm on you?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We've been fighting it, but it's getting hot. I don't know. I was watching the gauges the last probably 7 laps. So I was just hoping it didn't blow up.
I went back to last week. You had a very good top 5 run. Great battle, I believe, out there with Keith Reed. And when I saw you on that front row to start this race, I said, he's going to be one tough nut to crack. Had a good battle with Randy Lindenberg early. He slipped up a little, but you maintained a pretty darn good advantage. Looked like the car was working very well for you.
Yeah, it's working good. Anderson built the car. Oh, it's tough.
You what, Dave?
There you go. We'll let her do the talking for you. Who would you like to thank? Do you love him?
Well, you know.
Don't shrug those shoulders. Tell me yes or no. You got to say yes.
It's Davey's car. Davey built the car. He just lets me drive it. So I'm fortunate there. It's the first race I won since I lost my dad. And this goes out to him.
Don't drop it. You got to interview Dad. All right, give him that. Let him. All right, let him talk. There you go.
All these people here, they help me out. They cheer me on, root me on. You know, I messed up last week. I did something to the car I shouldn't have done, and it was too tight. It was my own fault. So yeah, it's. I got to thank Davey and Uncle Albert and Mac and Chuck, and I got A-Bargain Towing on the car, Wish Kitchens and Bath, J. Rowland Trucking, Chuck and Sharon, they really help us a lot. T.C. Smith, Rick Leggett, he builds a hell of a motor. He's built all my motors since I've been racing. And like I said, this is Davey's car. I just get to be the fortunate one to steer it.
Well, you did a heck of a job. And also, as a reminder, everybody, this was part of the Frank Saggy Tribute Weekend, honoring another legend. I know it's there for the late model drivers, but Pure Stocks and Simulates were a part of the program. At $500 is from that Frank Saggy Tribute Week. So I'm sure that kind of means a little bit to you, too, being a winner, not on the night that we honor the legend, a couple weeks later. But again, it's got to mean something good to you as well.
Yeah, it does. I mean, Frank was a good guy, a great announcer. I mean, everybody looked up to him, you know. I know Randy got into me down there a little bit. I know it wasn't intentional. I was trying to block. Like I said, I was watching the gauges, trying to make sure everything didn't blow up because it was hitting 230. So, like I said, it's just a little emotional for me because I wish my dad was here.
That's okay. He's watching. Don't worry about it. Brandon, great job tonight, and best of luck the rest of the way this evening. Could be 2 for 2 tonight.
I'm going to try.
All right. Good job, Brandon Churchy in the 72 RC. First Pure Stock win of the season. Scott Sweeney Jr. We get set. 8 laps of distance. All will qualify in tonight's first late model Sportsman heat race event as they get set to make their way into the Jesse James Auto Mart restart, and actually this time start zone. And Anderson gets set. Myers thought of a 3-wide battle, not quite there. Going to be Piper up top, Anderson down low. And Piper will grab the lead down the back chute. Anderson, very strong move down to the inside, trying to make it bottom work. Can't quite do it. Piper will get the credit for lap number 1. Here comes Myers, crossover move in the 70J, powering into the number 2 position. Anderson back to 3rd, Zekman to the number 2, quickly up into 4th. A little bit of a gap back there as Lee Ziegler leads that second pack. Cody Lear part of that, and that 99 BA trying to make his way through as Piper leads him back for lap 2. Zekman, that 2, very low and hit the bumps down on the bottom side. That cost him some positions, actually some car lengths, as Jacob Piper leads him back through it. Took a better unorthodox move through that corner, and that put Myers right on the rear deck lid. Now down to the inside goes the Greencastle driver, and DJ Myers grabs a lead here on lap number 3. Piper dropping into 2nd, Anderson 3rd, Zekman 4th, the 27, Lee Ziegler. They are the top 5. Piper trying to regain that number 1 position back. Can't do it for the moment as we hit halfway in the first late model Sportsman qualifier. Top 4 secure right now. They're evenly spaced out. The battle's for 5th. 27 is Ziegler right now has it. The 99 BA of Cody Lear trying to get around him on the inside. Not close enough here in lap 5. Once in front, Myers opens up a 5-car length advantage. Piper still trying to get the handle on that car through the corners. A few car lengths better than Anderson as they distance themselves from the 2 of Dan Zeckman. Right now running in 4th with 2 laps to go. Anderson loops it off at turn number 4.
Yellow, stay high in 4, stay high in 4.
Caution, the Jesse James Auto Mart caution out for the first time tonight in competition.
Driver's green flag this time. WJ, you start the race anytime after the flagpole. 3 to 4.
Lear and Trayton Lee back in the 3rd row, and now it's going to be the 25A of Anderson trying to play a little catch up and see if he can get a few more notches up in the order before this one's over. Not a good restart, and we're going to pull that one back. So our Jesse James Auto Mart caution coming right back out as Piper got a little too antsy
Leader,
off of turn number 4.
Piper, no more jumps. I'm going to call you back next time. 70J, you start the race. Try to get next time around. Again, 70J, you start the race.
Back to the Jesse James Auto Mart restart zone. Back off at turn 4. Meyer swings it wide, trying to fend off Piper as they work it back into 1. Piper right on that rear deck lid. Going to be Zeckman down bottom. Lear will get around Ziegler, and Trayton Lee likewise. He'll move up into the top 5. Anderson right there likewise as well. Those next 4 cars outside of the top 3 make their way back to the stripe. White flag is in the air, and it'll be DJ Myers holding on to the number 1 spot. Piper running the middle groove, gets a little out of shape, gathers it back up. Zeckman's number 2 likewise had some issues, and that benefited Lear, the 99 BA. Pumping the gas and heading down the back straightaway. He'll be a solid 4th off turn 4. And DJ Myers will check in as the first late model Sportsman heat race winner tonight. 21 of Jacob Piper will come home second. The 2 of Dan Zeckman, the 99 BA of Cody Lear, and the 25A of Braden Anderson. They will round out the top 5. Oh, a couple of 2025 winners in the field right now. Bonebreak and Booz sharing the outside of those front 2 rows. Kaufman and Weaver on the inside of those front 2 as we get set for the second 8-lap qualifier. And it'll be Weaver and Booz side by side off into turn number 1 and 2. Weaver down to the bottom side, but up in front going to be Bonebreak on the outside, drawing even with Kaufman down the back chute. Weaver will wrestle that number 3 spot away from Booz. Bonebreak quickly on that outside, trying to make it work up by the cushion as he takes the lead and will be the leader of lap number 1. Weaver on the charge to the inside of Kaufman. He'll gain second here on the front straightaway. Kaufman a little out of shape in turn 1 and 2, and that will close Booz and Atherton right up behind him. Kuntz, meanwhile, further back on the inside. Brandon Bard, 2 laps will be complete this time by. Bonebreak in control. Weaver clearly in second spot right now. No challenges. Kaufman's got the Hornet's Nest behind him. Booz down to the bottom side, and Danny Atherton looking top shelf, and he'll make it possibly work. He tried to get around Booz, but then had to be held up by the 08K. And those 3 remain very tightly bunched together off at turn 4. Top 2 very secure in their positions. Bonebreak a good 8-9 car lengths advantage over Weaver. Good gap back to the Zach Kaufman machine. He has survived the battles by Booz and Atherton, and he remains in 3rd. Booz in 4th, Atherton 5th. Bard to the 94 back in the number 6 spot. 86 is Scott Palmer in 7th. And the 08, Keith Kuntz rounding out the field as they put halfway on the board that time by. Late model Sportsman, he raced number 3 to the staging area. Late model Sportsman drivers, he raced number 3 to the staging area, please. Well, he dropped to 3rd in the points after last weekend. Bonebreak looking like he wants to regain that number 1 spot. Off to a great start in that 37F as he brings it back to the stripe. 2 laps to go this time. Weaver in the 1, losing the lead on that final turn of the final lap. He's trying to regain some composure, and right now he's solidly in 2nd. 08K is Zach Kaufman. He survived the battle with Booz and Atherton, comfortably now in 3rd. Booz likewise in 4th. And the 19 of Atherton, top 5 as the white flag comes out this time by. Bone Break, the third different winner in late model Sportsman action this year after Kyle Lear collected 2. Jeremy Pilkerton got 1. And then Bone Break found his way to victory lane. Tonight, he finds the second heat race checkered flag. Justin Weaver coming home in second. Kaufman will be third. Brian Booz and Danny Atherton will be the top 5.
Going this time, drivers.
The late model Sportsmen will be joined by the Booz Brothers Performance Crate Late Models, Simulates, and Pure Stocks. And then back to school night, August 30th. The late model Sportsmen are back with Simulates, Pure Stocks, and again the Crown Vic cars. I mentioned September 20th, but actually they'll be back on August 30th as we get set for the third and final qualifier tonight. Oh, Cody Lear shoots out into the number 1 spot. Lear, the fast qualifier and warm-ups in the 151, quickly second. 2x2 racing, third on back. Could be Cronice and the 000. Matt Naylor side by side as Breeden takes lap number 1. It'll be Naylor in the 000 gaining third. Cronice right now in the number 4 spot. He along with the 21M of Matt Murphy back there. And the 88C powered by Chuck Cox. Lear closing on Breeden little by little. A couple different lines being run. The 14 down bottom. Lear working more towards the cushion down the back chute. They've got about a half straightaway lead on Matt Naylor, who's put that 000 up into third spot as they come back for lap number 3. Couple of car length separation between your top 2. Breeden again running the middle down bottom, and Lear following in his tire tracks that time by as they work down the back straightaway. He shadows that 14 machine into turn number 3 and 4. Naylor remains in third, the 21M of Murphy in fourth. Cronice in the number 5 spot as we put halfway on the board. And that lap by looks like a little bit of a change for Breeden. He opens up a little bit of breathing room as they'll come back for lap number 5. 2-man race right now as they work off that turn number 4. Naylor in the 000. He still runs in third. Murphy in the 21M fourth. 5.56 at Cronice in fifth. And as we said, we take our advantage back down to the other end of the track. And Lear is right back up on the rear deck lid of Breeden. 2 laps to go this time by. And it'll be Lear get a little out of shape up in the marbles. And that'll open the door for Breeden to open that lead back up again with 6 laps complete. White flag will be in the air this time by for the 14 at a Fair Play Maryland, the one-time feature winner. As he works his way back, the 2-time winner, Lear in the 151 in second spot. They take their final tour around the Hagerstown half mile for the final time tonight in heat race competition. And back on the horse is Cody Breeden, the 14, coming away with a third late model Sportsman heat race win. 151 of Kyle Lear will come home second. 000 Matt Naylor third. 21M of Matt Murphy and the 5.56 of Eric Cronice. They will be the top 5 here in the qualifier. That will wrap up the late model Sportsman session tonight. All right, that driver latching onto the back, that 7S, that is Dustin Stein out of St. Thomas, PA. He was one of our last drivers that made it in just right after registration had wrapped up. Some of the drivers getting here a little late as they hit the Jesse James Automart start zone and make their way back to the green flag in tonight's first 5-lap qualifier. 82 of Carroll, Megan Moats will try to grab that lead. The 21 of Weaver right there on that rear bumper, right up through the middle. Here he goes. I believe that's Gossard in that 34 possibly. And look at that flame underneath that machine in second spot. You can see it as he came right through turn number 3. Everybody, they were side by side battling hard. Now it opens up a little bit to single file. And that's a 32 of Jeff Foster, actually, out of Gardner's, Pennsylvania. He's up in the high groove right now. Robbie Carroll down low. Both of them trying to put the heat on Eric Moats down the back straightaway. 21 of Ricky Weaver Jr. Right now, he's a very tight fourth as the leaders head back into turn number 3 and 4. Moats will bring him back for that second circuit of 5. And issues on the 7S of Dustin Stein. Got some smoke tailing off of that car and some issues. So Stein gets the black flag here on the front straightaway. Moats, meanwhile, holding on to the lead and has his biggest right now, Robbie Carroll. And also Jeff Foster. They are still side by side for the number 2 spot with the 21 of Ricky Weaver Jr. right behind him. And coming back for 2 laps to go. Well, the way Foster blew up through that field in that number 32 machine, I thought he was a sure bet to go around the 82. Right now, Eric Moats has got him covered as they come back into 3 and 4. Single file for the front 4 or 5 machines as they work it back for the white flag. Final time for Moats. He's up in that high groove right on the cushion. And Foster looking to see if he can make one more run. And now he's got problems. We saw a flame come out 2 laps prior. Over in turn 3 and up in a plume of smoke goes Jeff Foster. Leaders coming off of turn number 4. Checkered will be in the air, and the 82 of Eric Moats will come away with the victory. Robbie Carroll will wind up in second. Ricky Weaver Jr. will be third in tonight's first qualifier. Going to be the 14 of Brian Racine, ended up in 4th, and the 34 of Justin Gossard will be the top 5. Again, Crown Vic drivers, heat race number 1. Crown Vic drivers, heat race number 1. To the staging area, please. So bookends here of winners. Pretty much the 15 of McDaniel on the pole. He won the second race of the year. 11 of Matt Duvall won the opener. As the 4 cylinders come out for the Jesse James Auto Mart start zone off turn number 4. Colin Welsh sticking right there, as well as the 0-2 of Derek Iser. Leaders head down that back straightaway. And that's Tiana Anderson in the 15. She'll grab the lead down in turn number 3 and 4. McDaniel, part of a 2x2 battle as they come back to the stripe. And going to be the 0-2 of Iser grabbing the lead here on the front straightaway. Anderson back into second. And McDaniel will drop into 4th as that 516 of Chris Anderson showing strength in the warm-up. Started 5th up to 3rd and trouble on the 0-2. The leader making the second place car. Possibly a tire going down or something, really fishtailing down the back straightaway and makes contact with the inside backstretch guardrail. And that will bring out our latest Jesse James Auto Mart caution flag. All right, field re-entering the Jesse James Auto Mart restart zone. Here we go. Tiana and Chris Anderson. Family affair up front, drag race down the front straightaway, and we will see who gets that number 1 spot. Looks like Chris will get that number 1 position off of turn number 2. Working around on the high side, Tiana goes into second. McDaniel and Duvall, our Hagerstown winners right now, 3rd and 4th. Single file coming back for lap number 2 as we get set for Crown Vic qualifying. Their 5-lap heat events coming up in a few moments. Once in front, Chris Anderson opening up a good lead. Tiana still with a very good, solid lead in second. Matthew Duvall, the 11, winning the battle with McDaniel. He'll move up into 3rd. Top 5 made up by the number 6 machine, being powered by Matt Worley as they come back for 2 laps to go. Front 5 evenly spaced out down the back straightaway. A few car length separation between all as the white flag will be coming up in just a moment. And our final 4-cylinder qualifier tonight. All Chris Anderson back in 5th position up to the front, winning the restart battle with Tiana Anderson in that 15. 11 of Duvall remains in 3rd. McDaniel in 4th and Worley the top 5. Check her down in our newest winner in heat race competition, the 516. Chris Anderson out of Rock Hill, Pennsylvania. 15 of Tiana Anderson coming home in second spot. Going to be the 11 of Matt Duval third. 15 of Nick McDaniel and the 6 of Matt Worley. They will be the top 5 in our second 4-cylinder qualifier tonight. Graham Brazier out of Hagerstown electing to start further back in the field of that 9G machine. That pushed up the 28 as we get set to go off at turn number 4. And green is in the air. 11 to Baylor Akey trying to grab the lead from the outside. 68H of Alan Harding down bottom. He will be second down the back chute. Comes the J19, Jonathan Barron. He's side by side with the Harding machine as they come back for the first of 5 circuits in heat race number 1. 8X of Kanan Brown also moving up into the number 4 position, and now beginning to play challenger with those next 2 in line as the 11 car of Baylor Akey starting in that number 4 spot. Baylor Akey has grabbed the early lead. Nose to tail right now off at turn number 4. 2 laps will be complete as the front 4 push off that 4th turn and back to the stripe. Going to be the J19 still in second. That's going to be Jonathan Barron, to his inside the 68H of Alan Harding. And right behind him, the 8X, Kanan Brown. Here comes the 28 machine, the 28A of Travis Vogel. Now also trying to crack up into the top 4. And he'll go to the inside of Brown down the back chute, as we'll have the 2 to go indication coming up here in a moment. So comfortable for Baylor Akey in that number 11 as the battle for second continues on. Barron and Harding still side by side. The J19 and 68H. The 28A from the back, that's Travis Vogel moving up into 4th position. And now the number 2 machine, that B2 of Devin Bishop, challenging for the top 5 with the white flag out this time by. Smoke coming from the B2 of Bishop now as he slowly begins to grenade something as the 8X machine trying to get back around him, and that's Kanan Brown. B-ball checkered flag will be out this time by, and again the 11 of Baylor Akey starting 4th and ends up grabbing the lead early and taking the first Crown Vic checkered flag of the season here in heat race competition. J19 of Jonathan Barron will wind up in second. 68H of Alan Harding third. 28A from the back, that'll be Travis Vogel in 4th, and the B2 Devin Bishop tagging that wall over in turn number 2 slightly after having some issues, some smoke tailing from the car the last lap, but he will end up in the number 5 spot. All right, field stacked up. 8 cars in our Crown Vics in heat race number 2. 5 laps again the distance. Brady Schabel in that to 119. The 98 once again powered by Quentin Beeman. They hit the Jesse James Auto Mart start zone as we get set for the final 5-lap qualifier. And it will be Beeman grabbing the lead from the outside of that front row in that 98 machine. Schabel will be in second spot. Then the 20 of Scott Mitchell currently in third. 215 machine. Doug Winning started 5th right now. Quickly nabs 1 spot. For Sale is coming off at turn number 4. And that will be the challenge on the outside for 4th being Dacron Powell. Side by side with the 83. All right, right now, good lead off turn 2 for Quentin Beeman. And that 98 machine started outside of row number 1, grabbed the lead from Schabel. And right now, Schabel still in second spot. 20 being powered by Scott Mitchell, holding on to third. 215 of Doug Winning in 4th. And then Ed Vogel Jr. in the 83 machine into Myersdale, rounding out the top 5 as they come back for 2 laps to go. Again, Pure Stocks, heat race number 1. You should be heading to the staging area. Pure Stocks, heat race number 1 to the staging area, please. Well, solid lead right now going to be for Quentin Beeman. Second on back is single file and very much within striking distance of each other, although Shable in the 119 has a little bit of an edge. Hornets Nest begins back with the 20 of Scott Mitchell in third. 215 of Winning still trying to see if he can make a move. And up behind the 83 of Vogel comes the 45 of Sean Meddy, starting in dead last on the field and trying to move up as the checkered comes out. The 98 of Quentin Beeman taking heat race number 2. Shable in the 119 will wind up in second. Going to be the 20 of Scott Mitchell holding on to third. 215 of Ed Vogel in fourth. And the top 5 made up by the 83 of Ed Vogel Jr. Have you missed out earlier tonight as we were catching up on the Pure Stock points? A major shuffle last week. Nathaniel Yonker now up by 21 points on the 57 of William Ecton Jr. Those 2 drivers in this heat race. 62 of Dylan Beavers. He had held the lead for many weeks. Right now still very much alive. He is 22 back in the number 3 spot. He'll be out in qualifier number 2. In the meantime, the Jesse James Automart rezone comes to life as it's going to be Blake Reed, another one hungry for a Pure Stock victory, and he'll grab the lead down in turn 1 and 2. Churchy worried about some overheating issues after picking up the makeup feature. He's solid in second right now. Decked into the 57, another one hungry for a victory, and likewise for the 31 of Yonker, the 17 of Lindenberg. They're all a very tight top 5 as he come back for lap number 1 of 5. Everybody pretty much running the same groove, but here goes Ecton. It looked like he was trying to make a move to the inside. Got into that rear quarter panel on Churchy a little bit. Had to check up just slightly, but he holds on to third. Yonker right on his rear deck lid, followed by Lindenberg. And it is going to be the 8B of Blake Reed, much in need of a victory and improving each and every week. And that driver out of Hagerstown taking the lead on the initial lap as 2 are complete tonight. All right, 2 laps to go this time by for Blake Reed. Churchy still on the tire tracks, a couple of car lengths back. Yonker got around Ecton moments ago. Lindenberg is right there in 5th. We have the final 2 circuits coming up here in Pure Stock action tonight. White is in the air, and Blake Reed takes a 3-car length advantage off into turn number 2. Different line, a little out of shape close to the wall. That allowed Churchy to gun the gas and pull to within 2 car lengths as he works it back in 3 and 4. But another good line off at turn 4, and Blake Reed will check in for the heat race victory in qualifier number 1. Churchy will come home second. Nathaniel Yonker, William Ecton Jr., and the 17L of Randy Lindenberg. They will be the top 5. All right, field down the back chute. Again, redraw time coming up after this as we'll roll the dice on the front straightaway and get some words with some of our heat race winners to see how we're going to start these drivers up in their feature events. And when we get to feature time tonight, late model Sportsman, LB number 1, 20 laps, followed by the front-wheel drive 4-cylinders. Their 12-lap feature will be number 2 in the order, Crown Vic's number 3, and these Pure Stocks, they will be number 4. Green flag in the air as they hit the Jesse James Automart start zone and back to the stripe. And it will be Beavers grabbing that lead from Hoffman very easily on the outside off of turn number 2. Hoffman into second, Friedrich, a fan out single file. He'll be third, that'll be Friedrich, followed by Tyler Fisher. And then the 11A of James Spielman. Leaders back to the stripe. Beavers will grab lap number 1. Hoffman still holding second by a car length over Friedrich. And now Reed beginning to make some noise to the inside of the 11A of Spielman. And that will be the challenge for the number 5 spot. Beavers off at turn number 4. It'll be 2 laps complete this time by. Hoffman stretching that second place advantage out by a car length or so. Friedrich got his hands full with Fisher in the 32F. Reed wins the battle with Spielman. Now move him up into 5th position. Sutphin in the 45 is right there. Very tight field of cars. Biggest lead is by your leader. That's going to be the 62 of Beavers. Everybody else pretty close together on lap 3 with 2 laps to go. All right, white flag in the air this time by for Dylan Beavers in the 62, as he still holds a pretty good lead over Sam Hoffman. Good comfortable edge for Hoffman, likewise over Friedrich. Keith Reed not done, still trying to get out one more spot. He's challenging Tyler Fisher for 4th. As he work it back into 3 and 4. Final time, Beavers losing that points lead. He's back off to a good start to climb back up that ladder. The 62 grabbing heat race number 2. Hoffman will be second. Friedrich, Reed, and Tyler Fisher, they will be the top 5 in our final qualifier of the night.
I don't know what's going on between you and the 8, but it needs to stop now.
All right, folks, we have wrapped up our qualifying tonight. And not without a little bit of challenges on the back straightaway. But nonetheless, we're going to revert your attention to the front straightaway. Somebody who may have lost a set of keys in the Porta-John. They have been retrieved,
32,
and they are at the track
for the
office.
Heat race. You can start last in
So
the
again,
feature.
if anybody that used our Porta-John outside the Speedway, check your pockets. If you did lose your keys, they were retrieved out of the POP. And they are at the track office right now if you would like to claim them. All right, DJ Meyer is going to be our first driver we're going to talk to. DJ, looking good tonight in that heat race and that car. Always good at least for 1 or 2 victories here at Hagerstown Speedway. Last year we had 9 different feature event victors. We got 8 right now. Number 9 is going to be you tonight. Do you think so?
Oh, I'd love to.
But the car looks superb. I think you guys were trying something different a few weeks ago. Got yourself a different ride or something, and everything looks like it's come together great.
That's our new car. We built that ourselves, me and my dad and the boys there at the shop. We wanted to do something different. I told them I was getting older over winter and I'd like to build my own car. So that's what we did, and so far so good with the way it's been running. We're very pleased.
Awesome job. Congratulations on a good effort. Give us a good roll tonight. Let's get you up there in the front.
All right, we'll try.
All right, DJ Myers in the 70J out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania. He's going to roll the dice. Let's see what he comes up with. Number 1, there you go. DJ, good luck tonight, my friend. Good roll.
Thank you.
All right, DJ Myers, good job tonight in our late model Sportsman action. All right, we're going to bring out Eric Moats. Where's Mr. Moats at? Oh, you're a tall one. Eric, welcome back to Hagerstown Speedway. Good run. 4-cylinder guys bringing a good crop of cars. You had a hornet's nest behind you early in your heat race, but looked like you survived pretty good and pulled away a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't know what was behind me. Just go.
I tell you what, go and roll that dice and see if you can keep that 82 machine up in the number 1 spot here in tonight's redraw. We're going to speed her up a little bit. We know we possibly may have some weather. Another number 1. Eric, hey, thanks for coming tonight. I know this is the last time we're going to see the 4-cylinders, I believe, for 2025. But you guys, I know we lost you one time to rain, but 2 other shows, Matt Duvall, Nick McDaniel, they did a great job. Good luck to you tonight, and thank you and all you guys for your participation here this year.
All right, thank you.
All right, Eric Moats in our 4-cylinders tonight here at the Hagerstown Speedway. All right, 2 drivers have done the number 1. Byler Akey, get your tail up here. Crown Vics. Now, I talked about the 4-cylinders. You guys brought out a good-looking crop of cars tonight. Tell us a little bit about you and where you normally race at.
We spend most of our time up in Latrobe and Bedford. That's our 2 main tracks we race at.
Now, Josh had said earlier about 18 cars at Bedford, roughly got a pretty good car count up there. How's Latrobe been this year for the Crown Vics?
That's mainly where most of the Crown Vics are around, so we keep a solid car count there as well.
And how's your season been so far?
It's my first season, got a win under the belt, and a couple top 5s, so we're doing pretty good.
You think you got a number 1? Can you keep that streak up on that dice?
Hopefully. What we're going to try.
All right, Byler, give her a shot tonight. Byler Akey, one of our heat race winners tonight out of Breezewood, Pennsylvania. Regular up at Bedford and Latrobe, and oh, it was so close. Looked like that number 1 was coming. Number 5, don't worry, you can do this. Thanks for coming, and thanks all you guys. The Crown Vics look great. It's a great-looking group of cars, and we're glad we still have you for at least 2 more races this year.
Thank you.
All right, Byler Akey, top driver in our Crown Vic competition this year. And then there was one. It must be Blake Reed. You know how long I've been waiting to talk to you? Your dad is getting on my nerves. I'm tired of seeing that face.
Yep.
Don't tell him that, and I know he can't hear me talking. Maybe he can. Hey, good heat race run tonight. We've been looking for that one.
Yep, I had a great time. Dad made the last call decision there and worked out. I mean, it's a shame the 32 posse back here, you know, having their little fun, apparently. Just not cool. I mean, I don't know what's going on back there now, but hopefully he can, hopefully this redraw doesn't help him too much, but I like to see him get up there next to me.
All right. Well, you've had yourself a good season. You, along with Ecton and a few other drivers that haven't got that first victory, you are that crop that are so darn close. Let's see if he can go one step further and get that number 1. Go ahead, Blake, give her a shot. All right, Blake Reed, the 8B, no, number 1. Hey, good draw. Good luck tonight, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, Blake Reed of the 8B coming away with the number 1 draw tonight. 3 of our 4 drivers in the classes, they get that number 1 spot. Late model Sportsman drivers, you can start cranking them up, and we are going to move you to the back straightaway staging area. We will have your 20-lap main event coming up in just a few moments. Kaufman, field getting set. 20 laps of late model Sportsman action. 8 winners in 2025. Will there be a number 9 as our late model Sportsman field makes its way down to the Jesse James Auto Mart start zone? Field stacking up in 3 and 4. Here we go. 20 laps at Hagerstown for the late model Sportsman. Myers quickly on the gas and grabs that number 1 spot. Bone break into second. Lear trying to thread the needle. Now he goes to the inside. 3 wide. Battle quickly for the number 2 spot. Make it 3rd. Piper's got it. Here comes Lear down to the bottom side. He is fishing down on the bottom end of the pier as he is trying to get another spot. It'll be Myers leading lap number 1. Bone break in second. Piper 3rd. Lear and Breen. They'll be the top 5 here on lap number 1. Piper now going to the high side, trying to see if he can make something happen, but Bone break's got him covered in the 37. Breeden trying to regain a spot he lost. The 14 along with the 151 of Kyle Lear. They've got their own battle for the number 4 position as Myers leads lap number 2. Going to be single file when they come back to the stripe. Piper settles into second spot. It's going to be Bone break in 3rd. Lear next one out of line to the bottom and give Lear the number 3 position off that second turn. Breeden will be 5th. Weaver in the number 1 machine. Justin Weaver. He'll be the top 6 as those machines have peeled away here at lap number 3. Next charge in line going to be the 99 BA. That'll be Cody Lear back in the 7th position. He leads the next attack of cars. 2 of Dan Zeckman, the 08 of Kaufman, 19 of Atherton, followed by Bard and Naylor in that 000. They'll be the next ones in line as Myers hits the number 4 lap on the board, this time by Piper. Lear, they tighten up the battle for the top spot. Going to be Lear again, working that low side. Piper, the middle groove, off at turn number 2, and Lear has got the inside advantage. They are only 2 car lengths back of Myers, and Kyle Lear tightens it up, trying to grab the number 2 spot. Piper goes way high, up in the marbles in turn 4. Lear takes over 3rd, make it 2nd. Further back, Weaver trying to crack the top 5. He's to the inside of Cody Breeden down bottom. That's where he likes to be, and he'll grab the number 5 position off turn number 2. Breeden will be back into 5th position right now, followed by Cody Lear. He's leading that next charge. They are trying to catch those front 6 machines. They have been flying as we hit lap number 6 in tonight's 20-lap late model Sportsman main event. So the 151 of Kyle Lear starting back in 6th. In 6 laps, he has plucked off 5 spots. He is trying to get himself to the front of the field and win his 3rd late model sportsman race. Myers trying to deny him and become the 9th different winner in late model sportsman action this year as they begin to hit the back end of the field. 2T of Trayton Lee will be the first car that they'll come upon. Piper in the 21 may have lost 2nd, but he is right there with Lear, 2 car lengths back. Weaver, meanwhile, to the inside of Bonebrake further back. He'll move up into 4th as lap number 8 goes on the board quickly here in late model sportsman action. Myers working down the low side, out of shape, not where he wanted to be, but trying to get to the inside of Trayton Lee. It may cost him dearly. Here comes Lear down to the inside. Almost made it a 3-wide battle, but Lear thought better of it, backed off. And Myers, for the moment, still has that lead as they come back for lap number 9. Lear a car length back, followed by Piper, the same distance. That is the 5M machine, of Mike Stack. That was a driver that they got around. And Lear grabs a lead off turn number 2. Good run for the Severna Park, Maryland driver. Picked up the first 2 victories of the 2025 season in non-point late model sportsman races. And Lear back to the stripe, looking for his 2nd victory of the weekend. 1 in crates and 1 in late model sportsman. Myers now dropping back a little. Piper gets the inside advantage. He'll move up into 2nd. Myers back to 3rd. Weaver in 4th. Bonebrake in 5th. And Breeden a very tight 6th as the leaders work lap traffic off at turn 4, just past the halfway point. That rather iconic 151 machine knows its way around the Hagerstown Speedway, and after he got that lead, he is checked out on Jacob Piper. And caution on the speedway, it's Myers in the 70. He'll pull off in turn number 2. Tough break for the pole sitter. All right, Myers will tag in. Zekman will tag out. The 2 pulls off into the pit area here at lap 11 as our late model sportsmen hit the Jesse James Auto Mart restart zone. Going to be the 151 of Lear, the 21 of Piker. 9 to go here in our late model sportsman main event. Lear using the bottom side, getting a little bit of rumble strip action down there to a degree, and that upsets the car and enough to get Piper in the 21, the inside advantage down the backstretch. Battle for 3rd, also a 3-car battle. Piper down low, now moving to the middle. He and Lear almost made contact, and Lear claims that number 1 spot back. Cody Breeden, meanwhile, also finding his way from 5th to 3rd, getting around the Weaver machine and also Bonebrake and back up into 3rd spot. Going to be Bonebrake in 4th, and he'll be right on that rear deck lid. He had to check up a little bit. That gives Weaver the advantage down to the bottom side. 3 wide off a turn number 4 almost as they come back for 3rd. Give it to Breeden, Bonebrake, and then Weaver. And trouble in turn 4. Going to be the 27 of Lee Ziegler.
Yellow, stay high in 3 and 4. Stay high in 3 and 4.
Here on lap 13.
Was not completed, Chuck, so we go back to the previously scored lap. You guys did make it back to the yellow before the yellow was, or the flag stand before the yellow was displayed.
All right, field stacked up. Caution lights are out, 13 down, 7 to go. Lear and Piper again from the front row. Breeden in the 14. He made some inroads in those 2 laps under green flag racing as he's back on the inside of row number 2, the 37 to Bonebrake to his outside. Green flag, back of the air of the Jesse James Auto Mart restart zone. And Lear again hitting those bumps down to the bottom side. That's going to give Piper that high side advantage for the moment. He'll power by on the outside. Lear will drop into 2nd. Going to be Breeden in 3rd. Bonebrake right there to the outside in 4th. And again, Lear charging hard to the inside of turn 4 and reclaims the lead. Piper right up the rear deck lid. He's up in the gas tank of the 151. But Lear now makes the final move. Breeden with a good run off turn number 2 to the inside of Piper. He'll grab the number 2 spot possibly. Here comes Weaver to the inside of Bonebrake. Some good 2x2 racing from 2nd through 5th as 5 laps to go are on the board. Piper now settles into 2nd position. Breeden now holding on to 3rd. Weaver will be 4th. Bonebrake dropping back into the number 5 position. Booz in the B2. He is up into 6th. So all your point leader drivers, that's Breeden, Bonebrake, and Booz. They're right up in there, the law firm, as they work off at turn number 4 for lap number 16. the 151 of Kyle Lear. Give him some green flag racing, and caution again on the speedway.
Yellow, 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 stay high in 4, stay high in 4. Yellow, yellow, stay high in 4.
The row number 2 alongside Breeden. And here comes Brian Booz of the B2 machine. He needs cautions usually, and now he's positioned himself outside at turn number 3 alongside a bone break with 4 circuits left to go. Field hits the Jesse James Automar's restart zone.
Yellow, yellow,
We're gonna
yellow.
pull that one back. So we will pull that start back as we have some issues over in that third turn area. He's got 4 circuits left to do it. Looking for victory number 3. Piper for win number 1. Breeden looking for win number 2. Weaver looking for win number 1. As they stack up down to the Jesse James Automart restart zone, getting set hopefully for the final 4 circuits off at turn number 4. Again will do his normal down bottom, and Piper is going to do the same thing up top. And again, trouble in turn number 2. A couple of drivers at different locations. Looks like Cody Lear and Braden Anderson having problems in different locations of turn number 1 and 2, and that Jesse James Automart caution coming right back out. All right, field single file as we get set back into the Jesse James Automart restart zone. Kyle Lear. We've been sitting on 16 a little bit. Few caution flags trying to get to the end of tonight's 20-lap late model Sportsman main event as they pour off into turn 3 and 4 single file. Here we go. All right, green back out. Going to be Lear. Piper in trouble off of turn 2. He slips way high. Cody Breeden tucks underneath and grabs a runner-up position down the back chute. Lear with the 151. That opens up a little bit more of a lead as he comes back for lap number 17. Also way up high, maybe the 21M of Murphy as he comes down off the banking, but also loses several spots. He had a good top 10 run going. Meanwhile, Piper trying to gather back up. He's showing the horses right up on the back deck lid of Cody Breeden, and they'll battle for second. That is fine with Lear. 2 to go this time in late model Sportsman action. Breeden second, Piper third, Weaver in 4th, and Brian Booz puts the B2 up into the number 5 position. Piper again going way high in 1 and 2. That opens the door for Justin Weaver. He'll tuck underneath in the number 1, up into 3rd, and white flag in the air. Our only repeat winner, and he looks to see if he can add to the total with 1 lap to go for the Severna Park, Maryland driver. Lear off at turn number 2. Good quarter of a straightaway advantage over the one-time winner Cody Breeden. Again picking up a great late model win at Potomac Speedway on Friday night and backs it up with a monster late model Sportsman win. 3 times the charm for Kyle Lear, taking another late model win at Hagerstown. Cody Breeden second, Justin Weaver, Jacob Piper, and Brian Booz will be your top 5. One of the hardest working men in the pit area and one of the most iconic cars. Give it up, folks. Kyle Lear in the 151 back in victory lane. Well, we talked earlier this morning. We chatted. You said, I hope I get to talk to you tonight. I wasn't sure if I was going to see you. I said, I miss you here at the Speedway. And by golly, boom, here we are.
We took a few weeks off, and I took my girls on vacation, and we didn't worry about this race car. We come back from vacation, and Sunday I was over there working on my hot rods, and we had issues with every race car we have, and we addressed them, and it shows this weekend.
Well, I tell you, and I'm going to go back 24 hours. That was a pretty darn good battle. Ed Pope even texted me after you and I had spoke. He said that was one hell of a race. You guys had a good show down there in the crate action last night.
Yeah, all my late model guys right now, we're all kicking with 8 cylinders right now, and it's just going right now. I said earlier in the year, you know, once the lights come on around this place, it acts different. We just had to get the car dialed in, and we got it tight right now, and you know, we were really good tonight.
I know the side-by-side restarts were a challenge because every time you got down there, you went around real low, and I know there's a little issue down there in 1 and 2. And Piper would get that high side momentum because your car would get a little disrupted, but every time you would respond in 3 and 4. That car just said, okay, that's enough, I'm going back to the front.
Yeah, 3 and 4, it was just like, it was like a slot car down there. It was just hooked to the racetrack like glue, and you know, a little bit of character down here, it really makes the driver make an adjustment in the race car to make their car better through the night. And you know, props to the racetrack for working on their hot rod, their racetrack to make it a hot rod, so you know, we can go to battle.
You know, last year we had 9 different winners in Victory Lane, the late model sportsman competition, which speaks volumes. This year we already had 8. You were the only one that's a repeat winner, plus you had to start in 6th position, and 5 very tough drivers that were in front of you tonight. What does that say about this car, but what does it also say about the state of late model sportsman racing in the competition here at Hagerstown?
Well, I mean, I've said it for years. The limited late model class nationwide is a huge deal. The rule package don't always equal, you know, when we leave state to go race, we don't have the same as everybody else. But, you know, things are getting closer. I mean, you know, maybe one day we'll have a world championship for limited late models.
Kyle, who would you like to thank this evening?
First off, Ray and Sarah Sicarelli, I said it last night, you know, without those two and all their companies, I wouldn't be able to do what I do this year. Kurt Zimmerman at Zimmerman Properties and Loans, Junior, JW Mold and Mediation, he's here. Me and Gene Conley, Pat McNeil at McNeil's Towing, Bill Funk at Signs Design, Jim Stevens at JDS Shocks. You know, so many small people in this car that makes it go round.
And as I've said it before, there's some all-star names that are in that have raced over the years, back in the Dorsey days, Potomac Speedway days, and even in Hagerstown. So you got the all-star lineup. Kyle, again, congratulations, another superb effort.
Thank you. And you know, my dad come up from North Carolina, and I don't know when the last time he seen me win. My niece is here, and you know, it's been a very good weekend for us.
Tell him to stick around. He'll see you win more.
I called him last night on the ride home. I said, you missed the first one.
That's all right. He caught the biggie. Kyle Lear checks in. Victory number 3 in late model sportsmen this year at Hagerstown. All right, our congratulations out to Brian Kearns, one of our race car drivers. Many-time winner out of Winchester, Virginia, picking up the 50-50 win tonight as we get set for green flag action. 12 laps in our 4 cylinders, final appearance of the 2025 season here at Hagerstown. And that 516, Chris Anderson, has been strong all night long. Moats, he drew the number 1 pill, or actually rolled the number 1. And he will be second. Robbie Carroll right down to his inside. As the field comes back for lap number 1 at 12, going to be Anderson, the leader. Carroll to the inside of Moats. Tiana Anderson back there in 4th. Tight battle. I mean, you got 5, 6 of them there, jumbled up together from second on back, led by Robbie Carroll. Tiana Anderson in the 15. She moved back up into 3rd. Going to be Moats dropping back to 4th. Weaver in the 21, holding on to 5th, and then you got the 15. Nick McDaniel, one-time winner, and the 11 of Duval, the other one-time winner. They're all up in there. And Tiana Anderson with trouble and jams up the field for the moment, coming slowly down off at turn number 2, and that may bring out our first caution of the night.
Yellow, yellow, stay low in 2, stay low in 2.
But we got 10 left to go here in a very intense battle after Anderson. It was a log jam from 2nd through about 7th. They were all right there together. Pretty much the rest of the field, if you think about it, as they work it back into 3 and 4 into the Jesse James Automart restart zone. Anderson, the 516, will bring him back to the green. All right, field back to green as they come back for lap number 3 in tonight's 12-lap main event. Chris Anderson up to the gearbox quickly and takes the lead. Robbie Carroll in 2nd, Duval 3rd. 21 of Weaver will be in the number 4 spot. 82 Moats will drop back to 5th and under attack by Nick McDaniel. That 15 down to his bottom side. Leaders back into 3 and 4 as they get set for the 1/3 mark of tonight's feature event. Anderson fastest in warm-ups earlier tonight and had himself a very impressive run. Robbie Carroll also been very strong all night long. Duvall in the 11 missed the second race, I do believe, as these SCDRA drivers are very busy. They have got races all over the place, and a lot of them jammed up against each other. Last night, a good field down at Potomac. Tonight, Winchester also has some. But another good field here at Hagerstown. And Chris Anderson in that 516. He's the class of the field. Carroll comfortably in second. Duvall in third. Weaver fourth. Moats in fifth. And the 15 of Nick McDaniel. Top 6 as they come back for lap number 6 halfway on the board. So top 3 secure. Weaver is leading the charge with Moats and McDaniel. They're very tight, back from 4th, 5th, and 6th. 7th on the track right now. Going to be the 14, being powered by Brian Racine as they come back for that 7th circuit. Crown Vic cars for your feature event. Crown Vic drivers for your feature event to the staging area. Crown Vic drivers for your feature event to the staging area, please. Good shot by Nick McDaniel on the back end of Moats in the 92 as they move off into 3 and 4. McDaniel trying to find a way around, and he'll pull to the outside and power by the Moats machine here at the start-finish line. So again, the top 2 are secure, but third on back. Duvall's got a little bit of breathing room, and now McDaniel going to split the middle and go to the inside of Weaver to the outside of Moats. Good battle for the number 3 position. Give it to McDaniel, and they'll close almost right up on the 11 to Duvall. As we come back for lap number 9, it's all Chris Anderson right now. Half straightaway lead for Anderson over Robbie Carroll. He's also almost got the same gap back to the 11 to Duvall. 15 to McDaniel. He's been on the move. He got up into 4th. Weaver now 5th. Moats in 6th. And then the number 6 machine, Matt Worley, right now running in 7th. 2 to go. That time by. And should be clear sailing rest of the way for Chris Anderson. He comes off of turn 4. He sees an empty front straightaway. No lap traffic to deal with, and a half straightaway lead as he'll grab the white flag that time by. Robbie Carroll looks like he's setting sail for second. Matt Duvall has got some work to do to hold on to third. McDaniel has closed up on the rear bumper. 21 of Weaver there likewise in the top 5. But all the while in turn 3 and 4, 3 races and 3 faces in the 4-cylinder competition. The 516 of Chris Anderson out of Rock Hill, Pennsylvania picks up the 3rd 4-cylinder win of the season, his first here at Hagerstown. Robbie Carroll, solid run, coming home in 2nd. Matt Duvall will be 3rd. Nick McDaniel and Ricky Weaver, they will be the top 5. So 3 different winners in 4-cylinder action this year at Hagerstown Speedway. Oh, Lordy. Oh, I just asked Tiana what happened. The gas tank fell out on the 15 car. That's a bad break. And here he is, Chris Anderson, picking up the victory in the 516 machine. Our 3rd different winner in 4-cylinder action this year here at the Hagerstown Speedway. Joining Matt Duvall and Nick McDaniel as winners. And Chris, getting a little bit of education on you here, and you win quite a bit. You've had yourself a pretty good season in 4-cylinder action here this year.
Yeah, I blew up a lot of motors this year. And I told my wife, I said, I'm getting on eBay, I'm buying a set of pistons and rods, and I'm putting the motor together. It's either going to go or it ain't, and it seems all right.
Well, I know it's our last appearance for the 4-cylinders this year. We want to thank you guys for coming. You look like you have a good time out there. Matt Duvall, a winner. Nick McDaniel, a winner this year. And we certainly hope we get to see you guys a lot more back in 2026 as well.
Oh, yeah, it's nice whenever you finish the race. Whenever you're not finishing, you don't care to race no more.
Well, I know we're fighting a little bit of weather possibly, so who would you like to thank tonight?
Just my wife, my family, TRC. He definitely got this baby juiced up for me.
All right, Chris, congratulations, and thank you so much for being a part of Hagerstown's action this year with our 4-cylinders.
Thank you.
All right, Chris Anderson picking up the feature event victory in 4-cylinder competition as we get ready for our Crown Vic feature event. All right, green flag out in our Crown Vic competition tonight. 12 laps the distance. And their first appearance of 2025. Front row, Alan Harding, Brady Shabel still side by side as they come back off at turn 4 for lap number 1. All right, 2 laps complete. Going to be the 119. Outside pole runner Brady Shabel taking that early lead. 68H of Alan Harding right now in second position as they make it back. And one driver way up the banking. Looks like the number 11.
Yellow, yellow, yellow. Stay low in 3 and 4. Stay low in 3 and 4. Drivers go back to green this time. 119, you start the race. Anytime after that turn 3-4 flagman.
All right, field back to green. 3 laps complete here in our Crown Vic event. Vailariki has been towed to the pits, the 119. Brady Shabel holding on to that lead. 68H pole sitter Alan Harding remains in second spot. 98, Quentin Bayman right now holding on to third as they come back for lap number 4. Up there likewise going to be the 215. Good run for Doug Winning. He started back in 8th position. He's moved himself up into 5th here early. Followed by the 28A. That'll be Travis Vogel. They're in the top 6 as they come back for lap number 5 of tonight's 12-lap main event. So right now single file and about a 5-car length advantage for Brady Shabel and that number 119 as he comes back halfway will go on the board, but caution on the Speedway. Problems on the B2 here on the front straightaway drifting. That's going to be Devin Bishop, the Hagerstown product. All right, field stacked up 2x2, same front row, just a different switching. The 119 again on the inside by virtue of taking that lead. Brady Shabel started second, right now first. 68H of Alan Harding has been there the whole time. 98 of Quentin Beeman holding on to third. The 20A also up in there along with the 215. Those are the cars of Travis Vogel and Doug Winning. We go back to green here in the Jesse James Auto Mart restart zone. And Harding will reassume that number 1 position off that second turn. Field will be coming back for halfway this time by 28A Travis Vogel, he has been on the move. Driver started back in 7th position. He's on the outside looking for the runner-up spot. Cross flags halfway in the air this time by. Again, Pure Stock drivers for your main event. Pure Stock drivers for your main event to the staging area, please. And major caution over in turn number 1 and 2. 3 drivers involved.
Stay high in 2. Stay high in 2.
82.5. Ed Vogel, one of the drivers involved as he pulls away. Tries to. B2 also over there. All right, so Alan Harding regained the lead on that green flag run. He has now got the J19, the 3rd starting driver, Jonathan Barron, on his outside. 28A Travis Vogel having a very good run. He's up there. Shable in the 119. Then behind them, going to be the 98 of Quentin Beeman and the 215. He also started a little bit further back. That is going to be Doug Winning as we go back to green to begin the second half of tonight's Crown Vic feature event. And Harding will lead him off into 1 and 2. 3 wide battle behind him. Going to be the J19 possibly coming out the better end of it on the high side. And that will be Barron taking that number 2 spot back over. Tight top 4 as they come back and almost try to make it a 3 wide battle again for that number 2 position. Harding will lead him back for lap number 7. Going to be Barron into second. Shable in the 119 back into third. 215 on the outside. That's Winning. He's rim riding right now off of turn number 2. And then the 28A of Travis Vogel. He's also up in there. Good side-by-side battle for the number 4 position as the leaders come back for lap number 8. Pure Stocks, again, your feature event and finale will be next. Pure Stock drivers, you should be at the staging area. Lap number 9 as they work it back. Harding a few car lengths over Barron in that J19 machine. And they've stretched it out a little bit. The Hornet's Nest back there. Shable on the 119, a little crossed up as he entered into turn number 1. That gives up the 3rd spot to the 28A of Travis Vogel. Shable now back into 4th with the number 98 machine of Quentin Beeman, rounding out the top 5. Leaders making their way back. It's going to be 2 laps to go, and it's tightening up for the number 1 spot. And a tough break for the 28A here on the front straightaway. Travis Vogel started 7th, was running right up in the thick of the battle. The Myersdale, Pennsylvania driver limping down into 1 and 2 as we get set for white flag action. Top 2 drivers make their way off of turn number 4. Going to be Harding and Barron as they come back. Who's going to be the first Crown Vic winner of 2025? And right now, going to be Barron in that number J19. He takes the lead off of turn number 4 and now sets sail down the back straightaway. 98 of Quentin Beeman now up into 3rd position, followed by the 45 of Sean Meddy. Started back at 12th and has been able to work his way up into the number 4 spot. But off turn 4, our first Crown Vic winner of 2025 going to be the J19 powered by Jonathan Barron. And at the stripe, looks like the 98 of Quentin Beeman will get that number 2 position. 68 of Harding will wind up in 3rd, followed by the 45 of Meddy from that 12th starting spot. And then the 11 powered by 119, I should say, of Brady Shable. Oh, there he is, J19 of Jonathan Barron coming away. The driver at Three Springs, Pennsylvania, picking up the victory in our first Crown Vic race of the 2025 season. right, Jonathan Barron getting some pictures here in Victory Lane. Our first Crown Vic winner here at Hagerstown Speedway for the 2025 season. Let me scoot by and get another picture over here. Started back in the number 3 spot and came away with a victory. And we'll get some words with Jaden here. Jonathan in a few moments. Big smile on the face. Congratulations.
Thank you. This is, I definitely wasn't expecting this tonight. Probably would have got a haircut if I knew that was going to happen. But my dad, I mean, he's helped me the most. I mean, Barron's Racing Engines. I'm kind of lost for words. Definitely wasn't expecting it. I knew our car's been fast. Over the last couple weeks, I just finally got some stuff figured out, and mainly just me getting a little bit better behind the wheel. This is my first year, first time doing anything. So.
Well, tell us a little bit about you and where you've been racing this year.
Bedford and Latrobe mainly. Hopefully Hagerstown kind of picks us up for a few more shows this year. We got great car count so far, and it's been a good year so far.
Who would you like to thank tonight?
First and foremost, my dad, Tom, Barron's Racing Engines, Russell Brantner's Performance, Ron Brown, Backwoods Diesel, my girlfriend Shaylin, my family, everybody. It's been a blast.
Good looking car, Jonathan, and I hope it leads to more victories for you this year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, they'll be back hopefully August 30th. Our Crown Vic winner, Jonathan Barron in the J19, taking the victory for the driver hailing out of Three Springs, Pennsylvania. Again, they'll be back August 30th and then September 20th on that Thrills and Spills night. Green flag out on our Pure Stock finale tonight. Second feature of the night. Brandon Churchy in the 72 RC took the opener. Blake Reed, one of the heat race winners earlier tonight. And trouble here on the front straightaway. One driver up against the wall on the exit of turn 4. Caution on the speedway. All right, set to get back to green. 1 of 15 complete tonight. Blake Reed, Dylan Beavers up front. Hoffman, the 13H 72 RC of Churchy back in row 2. Yonker in the 31 and the 17L of Lindenberg. As we head back into the Jesse James Automart restart zone and get set to put them up through the gearbox and get back to green. And Beavers doing the crossover. Started on the high side and now is down low. And it will be possibly a 3-wide battle by the time it's over. And there it is. Hoffman trying to shove it right in there down bottom. 8B of Blake Reed. No, he's up for the challenge. Beavers right there with him as well. The 62 back to the stripe. Lap number 2 was a good one. And Reed somehow holds on to it. Beavers back in second. Going to be Hoffman holding on to third. And Lindenberg spins it. 2 other drivers make it 3. Nowhere to go. Spielman's got contact. And also Friedrich in the 66. 45 is Sutphin. He just came to a stop, but Friedrich had a pretty good hit. And looks like the 80 Keith Reed also involved up in there as well. All right, 8B of Blake Reed, 62 of Dylan Beavers lined up again on that front row. 13H of Hoffman. 72 RC of Churchy back in the second row. All right, lap 3 about to go on the board this time by. Great battle for the number 1 spot. Still Dylan Beavers. He and Blake Reed have been shuffling back and forth. Beavers will get it this time, but now Reed tucks it down to the bottom side. 2x2 for the front 4 spots, and the 31 of Yonker looking on. They fan back in single file. Beavers, Reed, Hoffman, Churchy, and Nathaniel Yonker. And then the 8 of Keith Reed. He had a little bit of damage in that accident, but not enough to knock him out. He's back there in the number 6 position as they come back for lap 4. And Blake Reed once again trying to get right up in the middle of it. Sam Hoffman moments ago making a 3-wide battle down in turn 3. Gets around Reed. Great horsepower in that 13H. Pulls even with Beavers here in turn 3 and 4. Beavers will have a little bit of high side edge off of that 4th turn and still hold on to, well, not. He won't. It's going to be Hoffman showing the horses on the front stretch as well. And he'll grab the lead in 1 and 2. 6 cars right there together. Hoffman, Beavers, and Reed. Then Yonker and Churchy side by side for 4th. And Keith Reed watching back there in the number 6 position. And once in front, the most comfortable lead by anybody has been Sam Hoffman. That 13H started back in 3rd. But had to earn his way around, and another 3-wide battle could be coming. Yonker with a good charge on the inside. Keith Reed going to follow suit. 2x2 once again. 2nd through 5th. And Reed almost spins it in turn number 4. He charged in hard and had to step off of it. Gathers it back up, and the 72C of Churchy now has dropped back into that number 6 position. Hoffman trying to pull away. Yonker and Blake Reed side by side for 2nd. Beavers back in 4th. Keith Reed in 5th, and Churchy a very tight 6th. 45 of Lincoln Sutphin back in 7th. 76 of Martin in 8th. 32 F of Fisher 9th. 57 of William Acton Jr. and then Randy Lindenberg rounding out the field as 8 of 15 are recorded that time by. All right, 9 laps complete this time by Sam Hoffman, the leader. Nathaniel Yonker in the 31, as we mentioned, took over the points lead in trouble in turn 4. Going to be the 45 of Lincoln Sutphin spinning, and that might be what Yonker needed. Close that gap up on Hoffman and see if he's got a shot for a victory. All right, 9 complete, 6 to go as we hit the Jesse James Automart restart zone. Sam Hoffman had himself a little bit of a lead. Nathaniel Yonker had gotten into 2nd and was trying to close the gap. Now he gets what he wants on the restart, right upside the 13H. Green is back out as they head back into 1 and 2. Blake Reed down bottom, Keith Reed up top. That's 3rd and 4th, but Keith is going to have the better of it. As a 72C of Brandon Churchy. And looks like could be a right front flat possibly as he limps down the back straightaway, and looks like he may keep us under green and head off into the backstretch pit area. 5 laps to go meanwhile, and Yonker is on the outside of Sam Hoffman, and here comes Keith Reed. 4-time winner looking to see if he can secure victory number 5. He is watching a side-by-side battle for the lead. Blake Reed dropping back into 4th, and the 62 of Beavers in the top 5. Yonker will grab that lead here on lap number 11. Keith Reed dive bombing down to the bottom and almost collects drivers as he got to the bottom. Car couldn't hold down. And up the bank and he went, almost clipped the 31. The 13H of Hoffman also able to get back around him. And Reed again charging as we come back for 3 laps to go here in tonight's feature event. Yonker again, last couple of seasons, averaging about a victory. And with the points lead right now, great time to see if he can secure a victory, but Reed again is on the move to the inside of Sam Hoffman. They'll be looking at 2 laps to go here very shortly. Well, Keith Reed put it down in there in turn 3 and 4, but just couldn't hold it. And right now he does have the edge off at turn number 2. Younker's going to have some low side momentum. Here comes Hoffman again, but Reed pedals down the back straightaway and into that number 1 spot. Yonker in second, Hoffman third, Blake Reed in fourth, Dylan Beavers top 5. White flag in the air this time by. Final lap. Reed, a 4-time winner in pure stock competition. Nathaniel Yonker going to have another good points night. I know a moral victory is not what he wants to hear, but trying to win a championship likewise. And he shadows him down in turn 3 and 4 for the final time. And back to the stripe that checkered out for the 5th time this year. Hagerstown's Keith Reed takes the pure stock victory. 31 of Nathaniel Yonker in second. 13H of Sam Hoffman. 8B of Blake Reed. Great run in fourth. And the 62 of Dylan Beavers rounds out the top 5. Well, our night's wrapping up. It's hot, it's humid, and it's tiring. Keith, I know it's not the way that you want to end the night. We're hearing what we're hearing, but again, 5th victory of the 2025 season, and Blake also had a good night as well.
Well, I want to give that one to Nathaniel. I mean, just give it to him. Tyler had me so mad for what he did back there. I drove like a madman, and the car stuck, and it still worked. Give it to Nathaniel. He deserves it. You know, I took it in there too hard, but I would rather give it to him.
Oh, I understand the feelings, and once again, obviously in a bad spot here right now, but again, checkered flag to you tonight. Congratulations on victory number 5, and certainly hope that things get a little bit better as our season goes on.
Well, it all started with the 32 car back there. I mean, he crushed me under a caution.
I understand that, and I apologize. I'm sorry that it worked out the way it did tonight. Keith, I know it's not the way you want to win. I know it's not the night anybody wants to end up with, but it is victory number 5. Congratulations, and we'll hopefully see you next week.
Well, you will, and I'd rather give that one to Nathaniel.
All right, Keith Reed, our winner, victory number 5 for 2025.